Hi everyone, it's Nicole Spohr and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be creating some Victorian Christmas cards featuring add-ons from the Hero Arts October 2021 My Monthly Hero Release. This release is chock full of amazing holiday goodness, and I of course was drawn to the beautiful new Fancy Cuts dies and thought it would be fun to create a couple of vibrant, bold, kind of Victorian themed cards against a nice neutral background. So we're going to start by creating our backgrounds with one of my favorite cardstock colors, which is the Hero Arts Pebble cardstock. It's kind of a gray taupe color and I absolutely love this. We are going to be stamping the first one with the brand new Hero Arts Gear Clock Bold Prints background. You'll notice I moved my cardstock over a little bit in my MISTI so that I could center it. Now my favorite color of ink on this Pebble cardstock is the Hero Arts Unicorn White. A white pigment ink on kind of a grayish or taupe background gives you a very subtle but beautiful result. So while this will definitely be in the background of the card, it will have a nice impact and it won't overpower the rest of the design. I am using a stamp tool to kind of help get a good impression. This is the first time I've used this Gear Clock bold print, and so I did end up stamping it twice just to make sure that I had nice coverage everywhere. Now that we have our background, I am going to set that aside to completely dry. I let this dry all of the way before I actually stamped any sentiments, and that is going to go for both of my backgrounds here. So next, instead of stamping, we're going to stencil a background. This is the Victorian Stencil. Also an add-on from the October 2021 release. I centered it right here on my 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panel of Pebble cardstock, and I'm using a blending brush to apply the Unicorn White pigment ink to my background panel. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here, make it a little easier to see. And then I am just simply applying that color through the stencil. I'm using the Waffle Flower stencil mat, which helps kind of hold everything down in place perfectly, and then just applying that ink through the stencil there. I'm going to peel that away and look at the beautiful result. We're going to set our backgrounds aside to air dry while we die cut and color some of these images. We're going to start with the Christmas tree from this Christmas tree pieces of fancy die collection. In this die set, you get the awesome Christmas tree. You get an angel you can put at the top of the tree, a star, some tinsel, Christmas ornaments, and a candle, plus 2 choices of gift packages. For my card today, I'm going to be using the tree, the presents, the tinsel, the star, and the ornaments. From white cardstock, I die cut the tree and the ornaments and presents. From a gold glitter cardstock from Hero Arts, I'm going to die cut the star that's going to go at the top of the tree. And from white glitter Hero Arts cardstock, I die cut the tinsel a couple of times to wrap around the tree. Otherwise, everything is going to be customized with Copic markers. Now, you're going to see the tree kind of transform. I didn't love my first blending of the tree, but Copics are pretty forgiving. So I laid down G28 first, and then I'm going to apply some G43 and 46. And I'm going to keep working those colors until I get the tree looking the way I want. For this card, I felt it was really important that the tree have just the right effect, have lots of great texture and all of that, so that when you look at the card, it is the focal point, and I really wanted it to have a lot of texture. So you can see how the dark green is just really not the best coloring. Like the feathering and stuff wasn't fantastic. But for a first lay down of the color, it ends up working out. So I'm actually just kind of taking my mid-tone, the not E, G46, which is actually called Mistletoe, which I thought was perfect for a Christmas card. And I'm pulling that darkest G28 color kind of out and trying to disguise the fact that it looks, I don't know the best term for it, but it just looks kind of stumpy, I guess. The feathering was not there. So I laid down the dark, I laid down the light, and then we went in with the mid-tone. And after that, I can go back with G28, which is my dark color, and I can blend it out more because I still don't think it looks super great, but just wait. Sometimes you just kind of have to keep working. For the tree trunk, I used E55 and E57. And now I'm going to go back with G28, which is my darkest color. And I'm going to take a bit more time, and I'm going to just start feathering and pulling that dark color out with little feathering strokes. And as I do that, I think the tree just comes to life, and it kind of corrects the problem from my initial laying down of color. So don't be afraid to keep working on it. That is the beauty of Copic markers, is that you can color over them over and over to kind of correct blending, and the paper is not going to pill like it might with a water-based marker or product. And here is kind of right here near the top is where it's at the worst, and so we're just correcting that. And I love how it just kind of magically right before our eyes looks so much better. I ended up really, really loving this tree. I can see using it for all kinds of cards, even beyond Christmas. Think holiday, not holiday, think winter scene cards with critters and things like that. It's just a fantastic pine tree that can be used beyond the holiday season. And that goes for the presents as well. Maybe you want to create a birthday card. You could take the presents from this and incorporate them with maybe some other fancy dies you have from Hero Arts or other companies and use them for other cards. So definitely keep that in mind when working with these products. For this present, I'm using a different green color combination. I went with more of a limey green than the tree. This is YG21 and 17. For the bow on the package, we'll be using some reds. And I do need to kind of work my colors a little bit and pull that out and get some nice blending with them. Here is a little R59, and then we'll use R46 and 35 to complete the bow. Something to keep in mind that I didn't do, I have done this previously in other videos where I have colored small die cuts, but I did not do it today, and I don't really know why. These are all tiny. I would recommend maybe after you've die cut them, because you obviously need the die lines to know where to color. I think if you keep them in your cardstock, like just temporarily, like with a little post-it tape or washi tape, tape them into your cardstock. It gives you a much bigger piece of paper to color on, and it's a lot easier. I use the tip of some kind of very tiny tweezers to hold down the ornaments as I colored them. That's really not ideal. I think, and I wish I would have done it in the video today, that I would have just inserted them back into my cardstock and taped them in place so that I would have something a little easier to hold on to while coloring. So just a little tip for you if you are wanting to do something similar with this. For our next present, I decided to do pink and teal. So I added a lot of color to this card so that we have a lot of bright ornaments and then some bright packages down near the base of the tree against the kind of, you know, traditional green tree color and then the star at the top of the tree and stuff. Definitely you could also die cut like the ornaments from glitter cardstock. That is a fantastic option as well. I made mine glittery with some Nuvo crystal drops and White Blizzard, which I'll show you here in a bit. But you can totally die cut these from individual cardstock colors and eliminate the need to color these all together. I just love the look of the no line coloring and all of the detail that you get by coloring in these images. And that being said, you definitely don't have to use Copic or alcohol ink markers. Consider using your favorite watercolors, watercolor markers, inking tools. There are a lot of different things that you can do. So you can see how tiny the ornaments are. I'm only going to color like maybe 1 or 2 on screen, but it's kind of a pain to hold them down. They're just so tiny. So definitely consider taping them into your cardstock. So now I have my components. I have my tree. I have my tinsel out of that white glitter. And we're just going to go ahead and glue everything to the tree first. Then we're going to glue the tree to the card. And then we're going to add our stamped sentiments. I actually think I stamped the sentiments and then glue the tree to the card. I decided to go ahead and kind of assemble most of the tree first, and then we will figure out the best placement so that we leave plenty of room for the sentiments. Now there's 2 tiny stamp sets included in the My Monthly Hero release. For this card, we're going to combine sentiments from these 2. So there is the Victorian Christmas Messages, which is where Wishing You A comes from. And then there is the Hero Greetings Christmas Gift Shop, which is where Merry Christmas is going to come from. I mentioned this because these are really useful. I love the fonts in these. I think they definitely have that Victorian feel and flair to them, but the Christmas Greetings Gift Shop actually coordinates with like the main kit, I think. And then also there is a cling stamp background where you can build a toy shop, a little gift shop. And I have plans to do or create a card with that a little bit later this month. Let me know if you want to see that. I think it would be really cute, but there's little elves in this Christmas gift shop's greeting stamp set that I think would be really cute with that gift shop background. So just a lot of things that I didn't even get to. There's so many good products. You guys know that Hero Arts always brings a lot of fantastic add-ons every month. So here are my ornaments. I love how they look against the tree. They look beautiful as is. I'm going to show you how to kind of take them up a notch and embellish them even more. So kind of here's what I've got. I've laid everything out, just trying to get my spacing correct. I find it's best to make sure before you commit to anything on that background, whether it be adhering the tree or stamping the greeting. So we are going to stamp our greeting first. I am going to grab my MISTI so that I make sure and get this right where I want it to go. I did put a little adhesive, I guess, here on the back of my tree. I really thought I stamped my sentiment first, but maybe not. And I don't want it too tall. I want the spacing, like I said, to be correct. So there it kind of is centered on my card. I'm gluing some presents now. I know I have it zoomed in a little too close, so I'm sorry about that. I'm using my tweezers, little liquid glue, and we're just positioning our presents. There, I moved it up a little bit. And you could definitely add more presents down around the tree if you wanted. I think that would be neat too. So to stamp our sentiments, I'm going to grab my mini MISTI and I'm going to grab some VersaFine ONYX black ink. We're going to start with the Wishing You A sentiment from our Victorian Christmas Messages stamp set. That's going to go right underneath the tree trunk. And then we will stamp Merry Christmas from the Christmas gift shop underneath that. I've laid them out. I've made sure that I kind of like how that looks. The tree looks a little sparse, so definitely could add more ornaments, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to fill in my tree to give it a little bit more decoration, but you could add more of these die cut ornaments if you wanted. The VersaFine ONYX black ink works really well against the pigment ink of the background. I'm going to be using this on both of my cards today so that it shows up Look how beautiful that is. And then of course we'll grab Merry Christmas and stamp that right under. And I just want to center it. I'm just eyeballing it. And there is the Merry Christmas. So pretty. Now I'm going to take the Nuvo Crystal Drops in White Blizzard, and you could also use like a Wink of Stella glitter pen. You could use a liquid adhesive and a super fine glitter to get similar results. There's lots of options here for that, but I wanted my ornaments to be glittery. Our tinsel's glittery, our star is glittery. If you have a lot of different colors of glitter cardstock, you could definitely just die cut the ornaments from that if you wanted to. It looks a little milky right now, but it will dry completely translucent and just leave you with that iridescent shimmer and glitter. And then while this is still wet, I'm actually going to take some little like star confetti gemstones, and we are going to add those to some of the ornaments. We're going to also glue some little snowflakes into our tree as ornament, some star confetti in the tree as well. I just want to kind of fill in the tree. I want it to look completely decorated. I felt like it was a little sparse as is, but I like the balance of some different things in the tree and not just all of these ornaments. So I'm adding little dabs of glue, I'm adding star confetti, and you can see that the Nuvo Crystal Drops is still wet. And so as I am working, I guess I'm getting ready to, one of the little stars actually fell into my ornament. And so that pink ornament hanging down near the bottom of the tree, I'm just gonna move that a little closer to the center. And we'll grab another one and place that on another one of the ornaments. And then I'm going to grab some gemstones. You can grab any of your favorite kind of gemstones, anything tiny. Even the snowflakes, if you wanted to, could have been put in the center of some of the ornaments. They're small enough. But we're going to decorate some of the ornaments with a little gemstone. So when it's dry, it just will have like a little gemstone in the center. But the Nuvo Crystal Drops kind of acts like your adhesive in this case. And there we go. There's our little pink one. And then I think I use like maybe a red on red and a green on red. I didn't add them to every ornament, just a few of them. So I think about 3 have gemstones, 2 have stars, and all of them are glittery. Finishing details are always my very, very favorite thing about card making. And then after we have done this, we're going to take more of the star confetti and I'm going to scatter them out from the tree so it just kind of is twinkling all over. For my second card, we're going to be using the Victorian, or the Vintage Toys Fancy Dies. So this is going to go against the Gear Clock Bold Prints background. I knew when I saw the Nutcracker that I absolutely had to create a card with the Nutcracker. I love this image and he colors up so amazing. So I am going to start by stamping my sentiments first here, and these are going to be up at the top of the card instead of the bottom like they were on the last. It really just depends on the rest of your card as far as kind of how you want to lay things out. So for the tree, I liked it better down at the bottom. I just felt like that naturally, that triangle shape, the sentiments looked better at the bottom. For this card, there's going to be a lot of open space up high because I'm grouping the vintage toys together down near the bottom. And so I want to bring your eye up towards the top with my sentiment kind of through the middle of our clock. So I used Season's Greetings and To You and Yours from that Victorian Christmas Messages mini stamp set. And then I'm going to start coloring in the Nutcracker first. We're using E11, 13, and 00 to color in his face. I really went with traditional, so this card is going to be a lot of red and a lot of neutrals. Just kind of, I wanted really it to be a little bit more traditional and not quite so bright and modern like the last one, even though I definitely would still classify it more as a vintage or Victorian type of tree. If you ever need inspiration for coloring your Nutcracker when you get him home, I highly suggest just doing a search on your computer for Nutcrackers, and you can kind of get some really fun color combinations and things like that if you want to do something a little bit different. I also think, and one of my ideas prior to starting my cards was it would be fun to die cut a bunch of Nutcrackers and maybe do like a slimline or a mini slimline or even an A2 size card where you have several Nutcrackers in a row on the card and color them all differently. I thought that would be really fun as well. So there's definitely a lot you can do here. I'm keeping with my red color combination. And something I wanted to note, I know I have shared quite a few coloring heavy videos lately, and I have kept the coloring at a little bit more manageable pace, I would say, for the video. I have not super sped it up. I know I have really sped it up in the past, and I've had so many requests to leave the coloring, maybe not real time, because let's be real, no one wants to sit here for as long as it actually takes. I know when I import the content into my computer to edit the video, it's over an hour long, and truly I don't know that I would have enough to talk about while I'm coloring, and I know that a lot of you have requested no music. So with that being said, I feel like just kind of speeding it up a little bit helps with that, because I can leave in the coloring part of this and I cannot put music over the top of it. I love his jacket. I used some yellow reds with my reds to mimic gold. I wanted the shoulders and the buckle and some of the detail on his hat to look gold. And so that's the color combination I used. YR 23 and 31 for that. It's one of my favorite color combinations. And I'm just simply going over things over and over. Trying to get things just looking the way I wanted. It took a little bit of effort. So then his boots are going to be cool gray. Boots, mustache, hat. Going to do all of, oh, and belt. All of those are going to be in cool grays, 6 and 8. I love coloring in these Hero Arts fancy dyes. The detail, first of all, is incredible, and it makes it so easy to color them in with whatever coloring medium that you like. So maybe you like to watercolor. Die cut it from watercolor cardstock and you can watercolor the image. I think that would be super beautiful. If you like using your zigs or Tombows or other similar water-based markers, like maybe the Corinne markers, die cut from some Bristol cardstock and color in with those markers, or colored pencils on your cardstock of choice would be amazing as well. There are just so many options for customizing these images that I can't wait to see all of the different cards made with this. There's his little face. And then I need to fix a couple little areas I saw kind of there. And then I accidentally grabbed my yellow markers instead of more of the earth tones. But I decided, I mean, at this point, I'd already colored it, so I just kind of went over with my earth tone markers. and it makes it a little more prominent, which I actually didn't end up minding. But that was a way to fix that. But sometimes that happens. You're in a hurry and you pick up the wrong color. For the pants, I wanted them to appear white, but I don't want them to be stark white. So that is a warm gray color combination. Warm gray 3, 1, and 0, 0. And then the boots, of course, are going to be the dark gray. I added the first layer of color, and then I went back in and added additional detail. So he is about all colored. Looks like we've got the belt and the hair left. And then anything else that you want to add. So I did not do this, but you could do glossy accents on the buckle. You could do gemstones on the buttons going down his jacket. I didn't do that either, but that would be really fun. I am going to add some embellishment to his hat. You guys know how much I like little heart accents, and so that's where I'm adding the heart accent for my card today. And then we'll take a white pen and add detail to the boots. Now I did color in the eyes on the bear, the rocking horse, and the nutcracker with my C8 marker. That's to give it a nice base color. But I will tell you that I'm going to take a black jelly roll pen and go over that and really make the eyes pop on all 3 critters. I just in case that doesn't completely cover the eye, I did do a base color with my Copic marker. Rocking horse time. So the majority of my rocking horse is E57 and E55, little E50 as well, but then we're going to also pull in some E59 for the mane and tail, and then some red colors for the seat on the rocking horse and the actual rocker itself. I thought that would be a great way to kind of incorporate a little bit more red into my design. And again, the detail, amazing. I think the rocking horse paired with the last die set we used, like the Christmas tree, would be so much fun. I think it would be really cute, maybe tucked with some packages. Just another way to kind of mix and match these products a bit. And you'll notice I work kind of section by section. I find that is the easiest. Then we're going to do the tail, a little bit darker color so it stands out a little more. Blending out with E55 to blend out some harsh lines that I saw. A little E55 and then E50. RR 59, 46, and 35. We're also going to take those reds. While I have them out, I'll just go ahead and do the bottom of the horse, the rocking part, and then we'll go back with our earth tones for the legs. I laid down E59 first. I blend out with R46, and then we're going to finish with R35. And I think I even go back with a little R46. Kind of pull that darkest color out more and go a little bit further down into the bottom of the rocking horse. So we're going to put a little dark E59 here, and then E57, more E57, and finally we'll finish with E55. Now I had no idea what I wanted to color the bear. I really thought I wouldn't do the bear in browns, even though I wanted to color the bear in browns. And of course I did end up coloring the bear in browns. But I thought maybe it would be too much, but it ended up balancing everything really nicely. But I did pick a different color combination of brown than what I used for the horse. And I think that makes a huge difference in the finished card. The horse is almost a little brighter And the bear is going to end up being like a little softer, a little bit lighter. So we're going to grab my favorite earth tone colors, which I know I've mentioned a lot lately, E44, 43, and 40, and then also some E47 to deepen and darken some areas. The bear was, again, a work in progress. I wasn't exactly sure. Like the Nutcracker, I kind of knew how I wanted to color him, and that was pretty quick. The bear took me a little bit of work, and I started out so much lighter than what we ended up, which is great because you can always add darker colors on top as needed. But I just kind of started light, and then I worked my way until he was a little bit darker. I love his little bow tie. And then I want the bottoms of his feet and paws to be lighter even still. So that's going to be E43 and 40. A lot of E40, not a lot of E43. E43 is kind of the rest of the bear color and what I end up coloring most everything else. The insides of the ears will be a little R00 to make them pink. And we're just going to keep working those colors until we get the seamless blend that I'm looking for. Because right now, this is not it. E40 did not blend with this very well. So we definitely need to take that E43 and blend it out some more. There are the feet and face. It's starting to look more like a bear. And then we will do the eyes and the bow tie last. So then I kept the spinning top really traditional. We're going to go red and green for that. I didn't really want to incorporate a whole bunch of crazy new colors since everything here is pretty much reds and neutrals, but I thought a little green would look nice, and I really love how that turns out. So we're going to color that next as soon as I get this bear. He gave me fits. I don't know what it was, but I had the hardest time. I love how he turned out, but I had the hardest time coloring him. The bear is another one that doesn't necessarily have to be holiday. You could use this for a baby card. I think coloring them in, you know, pinks, blues, yellows, whatever, whole rainbow assortment of colors for the bear. I could see that on a baby card really easily and be really cute. Get that little bow tie in red, of course. That just kind of ties into everything else on our card design. I love red against the pebble gray cardstock. Oh, I love it. It's looking cute. Okay, the spinning top finally. So it also has nice little stripes, so I'm simply going to alternate between red and green. You could do this in a lot of different colors as well. I kept it pretty simple. So we're going back to our tree colors from our first card, which are G43, 46, and 28. And then we're using our red colors, which are 59, 46, and 35. However, I mostly used our 46 and 35 and not a ton of our 59. This is another image that would benefit from keeping it in the cardstock, just taping it to the back of your bigger cardstock piece to color it in. It's not near as small as the ornaments from the tree card, but it is a little bit of work to hold on to it. Now, once we have the spinning top colored, we can adhere our images to our card base. And I'm going to group them. You can kind of already see how I'm planning on grouping them together. I do want them to slightly overlap in certain areas, but not completely cover up one another. So it's going to kind of be the bear with the top in front, the nutcracker in the center, and the rocking horse over to the right side. We're going to glue them down in place. I'll use an acrylic block to kind of help hold them down and hold them flat. And then we will add embellishment. And it's really simple. Just like the last card, I know I added quite a few things to the tree, but it's very, very simple embellishments. Same goes for this. We're going to make sure that the eyes really stand out on everything. And then we'll just add some little sparkles and then a little heart to the nutcracker hat and some snowflakes to the spinning top. Looks like we about have our top all colored. Oh, I love it. So here is what our card is looking like. We've got everything colored and ready to go. For those who always ask me, like how long cards take, the two of these cards together probably took an hour and a half from start to finish. So there is our nutcracker. And I'm not going to press him completely down because I want to tuck part of the rocking horse back behind and then have, of course, the face in front. I don't want that to be completely covered up. And then the bear is going to be slightly behind one of the legs, but the ear is going to be slightly in front of the arm on the nutcracker. And then the spinning top is going to be sitting right down in front of the bear. Perfect. We're going to put that acrylic block on top to help hold it down and keep it flat. We've got the heart for the hat. There's my little red heart making an appearance. I thought that was kind of fun and cute. I decided to decorate the spinning top with some snowflakes. I love these little snowflakes, so I thought that'd be a fun little touch. And I didn't really want them kind of surrounding like over the gear clock background. For that, we're just going to keep it very simple with the little gold mini star confetti, and I will scatter those throughout the background. Then both of my card backgrounds were adhered to white top fold card bases to finish these card designs. And here's that black glaze pen used to add some detail to the eyes on all of our toys. I took a white pen and added some little buttons to the nutcracker's boots for added detail. And again, this is where you could really add even more detail to his outfit if you want to with different specialty pens. So keep that in mind. Maybe a glitter dust pen if you wanted to. You could go in with black or white and add some different things. I did add some glossy accents to the nose on the bear. That will dry completely clear and give it a glossy raised finish. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these two vintage themed Christmas cards featuring Hero Art's My Monthly Hero October 2021 release products. The supplies I used to create these cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here is another video featuring Hero Art's My Monthly Hero products you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a new card making video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.